Okay, here we go. Video number 3. This is the Board of County Commissioners meeting, and it's October 19th. And this was this morning, and this is Steve Brendtro. We just heard from him letting us know that everything's great with the county. Fire and EMS and sheriff are all great. And so, but for some reason, we still need to create this city, this town, this layer of bureaucracy. That's all it is. All right. So here we go.
But for the past 10 months, we've been focused on community education and research to ensure that the proposal is actually feasible. While the community's decision is still over a year away, we could now take this opportunity to work proactively. So, gentlemen, the community needs your help and your guidance in this regard. Commissioner Bender, a portion of your district falls within Pensacola city boundaries. So you have experience with these interlocal agreements and know something about how they're structured. Could you direct us to the appropriate county staff so that we can begin to look at existing interlocal agreements as templates, perhaps, of how future contracts would come together?
Yeah, I mean, it'd be talking with our county attorney and our county administrator. I would say the city of Pensacola was fairly well established when I came on the board, and I don't know if we've really even done an MOU with them since I've been on the board, but I think we need to start with Allison and Wes.
Okay, because if we could find copies of those interlocal agreements and kind of see how they're structured, and we know the precedent of how the county has done things in the past, and I would assume we can expect that that's kind of how things same pattern would work.
You know, and Madam Attorney, I think, we've done our own little research on this. It was my understanding that a lot of this stuff does get worked out and put into the bill that creates the outline of what's going to occur. And I think that was why we were a little surprised that we hadn't heard from you guys yet. And that, is that right? I mean, that's, again, I mean, it's, I'd say it's a little bit of a negotiation, but again, to have that up front and to have the residents know what services are going to be covered, how they're going to cover them, what services the county's going to keep, what facilities, whatever, it needs to be worked out on the front end, in my opinion.
So, and I agree, those discussions are important. The pattern that we've seen with other municipal and corporations, the charter that actually becomes the text of the local bill it doesn't include that. We've reviewed charters and local bills from incorporations of the past 20 years, and it's very, very focused on the charter itself. The feasibility study, and we have submitted this to the state, that has a lot more of the text and the approach of how you find a balanced budget and how it actually could be feasible and where those services come from. So that's where that document would be, and that's filed with the state, and we can provide that too. It's about 120 some pages.
100. So
we've seen that.
Yeah, in that. So it says that we would lose $5 million roughly of ad valorem taxes, but recover the entire amount through interlocal agreement. What? So it says we'd lose $2.89 million in SSR fees, $3.13 in communication service tax and franchise fees, for an annual loss of $6 million on the general fund. So I didn't understand where that was different from the 4.95 mentioned above of ad valorem. Again, I don't know how you lose the ad valorem. So.
So it was talking about the. I'll have to look exactly what that was talking about. One thing I do want to point out about those numbers is there's a new budget that is going to be. That has been approved, and new tax roll certification that's happening. So the first job that we have, as this goes to Tallahassee, is to rerun all the numbers with this tax year information for fiscal year 2024.
Steve, can I ask you maybe a very, very basic question? So, I mean, the gist of this is really, I mean, you feel like you've got a large number of people that they want to pay more tax for more service.
So the way
is that the gist of it?
The feasibility study, as it's laid out, as it proposes it, would require no additional tax revenue for the citizens of Perdido.
Okay, I mean, I don't mean to be
No, that's
curt with you. That's not going to get approved by this board. I mean, our board's not going to approve an interlocal agreement that has us collecting less revenue. I mean, that's not the way our other municipalities exist. And I mean, I don't represent any of the city of Pensacola. I do represent the town of Century, which pays county taxes as well, and then pays additional taxes because they're inside the town limits. I would not think that they would be very happy if I would approve an agreement that had a reduction in ad valorem for a new municipality. Robert, as you mentioned, represents I didn't know if it was a majority or not, but yeah, a large part of the city. I would not think your residents would be keen on your support of an interlocal agreement that allowed a reduction in ad valorem taxes to a new municipality. I don't represent them directly, but I wouldn't think they would be.
one thing I'd like to point out with what Commissioner Bender read, and again, those numbers will be adjusted, but the losses to the county are offset by that the county doesn't have the responsibility anymore to do those types of projects. So any transfer of revenue in that regard is a wash.
But the baseline is that other municipalities pay the same ad valorem rate that the county residents pay, and
that would not change. But it would be the same as it's proposed in
the county receives those revenues from the residents of the municipalities in Escambia County. We receive 100% of those revenues.
Yes.
So you're not saying that's going to change?
No, that's not going to change.
Well, then how are your people not going to pay more?
Yeah, it will. And
Franchise fees and communication service taxes.
we have to negotiate those
transfer.
once they expire, and you have to wait till they expire. But Steve, please don't take this the wrong way, but again, another.
All right, I have to stop because this is the original sin. This is the canary in the coal mine. That last 2 minutes of exchange it's clear. It's clear. There's more taxes coming. Brendtro keeps referring to the document, the feasibility study, because the feasibility study says it. He believes it for some reason, but you just saw. I mean, Bender and Barry are sitting there just sniffing, going, what do you? How can you say this? How can you actually say that the residents aren't going to have to pay more? and Brendtro's response is, the feasibility study says this. So, oh gosh, man, help me, people. This has got to go away. We're at 8 minutes, so we're gonna do video 4. I don't think we might have to do 5 videos. So I'm gonna stop recording. We'll pick up here in a second. And Burgosh is about to make a great point here, and it just, you'll see poor Steven, he has to start squirming to get out of some of this. He's squirming already. I mean, I don't have the document in front of me. I can't answer. The numbers are going to change. You heard that. They've got to rewrite the budget on the 2023 numbers that they just got, because the end of the fiscal year was September 30. So, oh man, it's just not pretty. Thank you for your time. And video 4, I'm lost. Whatever's coming up here.